It's a competition clinching shot. Whoa! How about that?
The LET Golf Podcast, the official podcast of the Ladies European Tour.
Hello and welcome back to another episode of the LET Golf Podcast with me, George Cooper, Nicola Kenton, and we're joined by two very special guests today. We've got LET rookies Alexandra Försterling and Alessandra Fanali. How are you doing?
Good, yeah, really good. Thank you.
So for those that don't know, you are two of our LET rookies for the year, but you also happen to know each other from before this season, don't you? Alexandra, maybe you could explain to our listeners.
Yeah, Ali and I were in college together, so we actually came in the same year and stayed there for 4 years together. And yeah, we also lived together. We drove in the same car together. So yeah, we definitely spent a lot of time together.
Great stuff. Well, we'll get to all of that in just a moment. But first things first, Alexandra, we'll start with you. How are you enjoying the season on the LET?
It's really nice. Yeah, like I'm really enjoying it. I've met so many nice people so far. I mean, obviously seen some great places because we went really far away from home. So, I think my favorite was Singapore so far. I just really enjoyed Singapore. And yeah, but I'm also excited for like all the European tournaments and especially the tournament in Berlin. And yeah, so we'll see.
Great stuff. And Ali, what about you?
Yeah, I'm enjoying it as well. It's very nice. It's different, very different than amateur golf. I feel like I like it a lot better. It's fun to travel with friends and like just do whatever you want to do during the week, outside of golf. So it's very nice. Yeah.
Nice. And what's been your favorite event so far?
I think Morocco was one of the best ones. The organization was very good. It was fun to share the range with the Champions Tour players, so it was very cool. I think that one for sure, yeah.
Perfect. So we're just going to go back to the beginning of both of your careers. So, Alex, I'll start with you first. How did you get into golf? When was the first time you kind of went to the golf course and picked up the club?
Um, I mean, I definitely started playing through my parents. My dad initially started, and then my mom joined him, and then it was me. And yeah, we flew to Florida quite a lot just to escape the cold German winter, and they went golfing actually, and I was always sitting in the golf cart, so. And then I think that's how I kind of like picked up a club. I think they like because I would like grab their clubs and I wanted to play, but obviously they were way too heavy. So I think then they just bought me like a really tiny one, and that's how I started to play. And yeah, and then we have like a junior program in my home golf club, and then they signed me up for it, and then I actually started like going to the practices and stuff and actually practice with a group, and this is kind of how it started. Yeah.
And Ali, how about you? Was it similar? Was it a parental influence on you as well?
Yeah, it was because of my dad. He played golf. His whole family played golf. My mom doesn't even know how to play golf, so that's kind of funny. But I've done swimming before, 8 years of swimming, so I started pretty late compared to the other people. I was almost 10 years old. But I was actually in a golf course when I was already like 1 or 2 years old because I was walking with him. But yeah, that's how it started. And then we had like a school program. So all my friends started with me too. And then I just kept going with a couple of them. But yeah, that was it.
And Ali, for you, did you have golf heroes when you were growing up, or because you swam, did you like look up to Federica Pellegrini or other swimmers? Who was your kind of sporting hero growing up?
So growing up, I actually watched a lot of swimming. My idol was Federica Pellegrini, so the very, very good Italian swimmer. But has always been Tiger, honestly, because I grew up watching Tiger and Phil Mickelson fighting each other a lot. So Tiger has always been my number one, and I'm excited to watch him this week too. So it's gonna be fun.
And for you, Alex, was it similar? Did you have golf heroes growing up, or were you kind of fans of lots of different sports as well?
I actually also played tennis at the same time. So, but I think I like early on I started really realizing I was more into golf. So I like kind of followed more golf. But I would say I think when I was really young, it was definitely Martin Keimer. Just because he was like almost like the only German one. I mean, well, next to Bernhard Langer, but he was already a little older by then. So it was like him, and I like still remember the time when he like won and like became world number one, and that's when I like really liked him and just like to follow him and stuff. And then I also got to meet him like twice, so and he was really nice. So yeah, that's probably the one when I was like growing up.
And did meeting him like have a big influence on you? Was that something where you were like, oh, you're enjoying golf even more now because you're kind of at that age where where you're making a decision about what you want to do with golf?
Yeah, well, I was actually already a little older, so I was like 14 or so, but yeah, I definitely was like, I want to do this professionally too, definitely. So, yeah, it was just cool meeting him and like realizing how nice he was and stuff. So, yeah, that was a kind of nice experience.
Was it when you were, yeah, 14, 15, where you decided golf was going to be your career, that you kind of wanted to go to college and do that whole thing?
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I mean, when you're, I would say this age, you kind of like get to know a couple older players, like also in your federation, and then you hear that they like go to college and stuff, and you kind of like get a little bit of sense on with like how this could be and stuff. And I thought it was really interesting. And then I was also obviously thinking about like, doing this like not just as a hobby, but like hopefully earning some money with it too. So that was yeah, just like by then was like a fun thought. But then like by every year it came more of a like actual thought. So yeah, and now we're here, I would say. Yeah.
And Ali, obviously starting a little bit later in golf, but what kind of age were you where you started to think about college and professional golf?
So yeah, I started late, but around like 12, 13, I remember I was like in that moment where my handicap got very low and like very quick time, and I was like, maybe I actually do want to play golf. I got into the national team the year after I was 14, and then I won my first Italian championship, and they brought me to the European team. So there I was like, okay, yeah, this might be what I want to do. I wasn't sure if I actually wanted to play, but still work in like the golf environment, you know? But for sure I was like, yeah, golf, it's gonna be something I'm gonna do. Um, and then I still didn't know about college until 16 actually. The year we won the European Team Championship, where I got to meet our coach from ACU. So yeah, that was like I think a big step for me for sure. Yeah.
So Ali, how does that like how process work? Like, does somebody approach you and say, "Okay, we're going to give you a scholarship"? Like, how did the whole college dream come to fruition? I guess.
So we had a person that we still have this person in the national team that travels with us, is like a captain of the national team for the girls team. He was actually in contact with a lot of like college coaches. So before, when we were 16, there was a rule that coaches couldn't really talk to you. So just like our national coaches could actually talk to them, and then we could actually start emailing them and talking to them through the phone when we were like a year before college, so like around 18. And I remember at the European Championship, because I was playing well and we actually won, I had a lot of coaches watching us, the whole Italian team. And I think I played with Beatrice or Maya Stark in the match play the final day. So I had Missy watching me, and at the end of the week, she just went through a whole process with the coach and asked like if I was free for a scholarship for the 2018 August, or actually then started in January 19th. But um, yeah, so that's how it basically works. And then you just go through like commitment a year before college, then you go through official visit, and then everything starts. So yeah.
Nice. And Alex, was it the same with you? Like, did you always know, okay, I want to go to college? And how did you end up picking Arizona?
Yeah, it was similar for me. We don't really have a person that like does it for us in the federation. I would say we kind of like I mean obviously the girls like help each other and stuff. And I knew, well, it was a kind of funky because I actually didn't talk to ASU since like really late. I started talking to two different schools, and like was looking around a little bit. I wasn't sure, and I didn't really know what to do. I knew that I really wanted to go, and but I didn't know where. And because I was always like, oh, I want to go to the East Coast, you know, stay close to home and stuff. But then I actually ended up like even further away. But no, I had a contact because at that time where I started like trying to like find a college, there was a German girl, Sophia Zeb. She was at ASU as well, so I kind of got the contact to our coaches through her German coach. And yeah, that's how I started talking to them, but that was not until I would say like almost a year before I left for college. So um, a little bit after I started talking to Missy and all of them, I did the official visit in October, and then I signed in November, and then it was just from one day to the other, and then I started in the next August. So it was super quick. But once I came here for my official visit, I did 3 visits, and this one was my last. And I landed here, and I was like, okay, I will stay.
But talk me through when you guys first met and what were your first impressions of Ali?
So I do still remember we met in, well, I mean, I knew her from like all the international tournaments and stuff. But then once I like realized that she's going to the same school, I think we talked in like France at the tournament in Paris, and but like I think we were both a little shy, you know. So, yeah, I mean I'm definitely a little shy, but um yeah, it's just, I mean, then when we like got to talk to each other, it was fun. And like I think I was really excited to like have another person in my age coming to with me to America, because I mean it was obviously like something new and like far away from home, not having your parents and stuff. So um but yeah, that's kind of like how we got to meet, and then just got to know each other better and better once we were there.
And Ali, same for you. What was the experience like moving all the way to America for college?
It was actually very exciting because, as I said before, I started in January, so I had like a free gap between August and December. I had a lot of time to spend home, and I was done with high school since like 8 months when I left for college. So I was like very, very excited. I remember our first year and a half was like the best ever because we were so excited to be there. And I actually remember that when I got there, everyone was like, "Yeah, Alex, so fun, so fun." We met, but never really talked. And then we met each other. It was so funny because it's like, "Hi, I'm Alexandra," and she's like, "Oh," and I'm like, "I'm Alessandra," and then we just start laughing about it. And then we found out we had a lot of stuff in common. Um, so that was cool. And then it was funny too that a German and Italian girl left college the year before us, and then we got in with the same name. So it was everything like very cool. But we had a lot of fun, and I mean, I would love to go back for sure. Yeah.
I bet. And you shared a room together as well, right?
Well, not in our freshman year because we were in like
Yeah.
dorms and stuff. So I roomed with a tennis player, and Ali roomed together with a volleyball player. So that was our first year. But then after our first year, we obviously had to decide where to live. So yeah, I mean, it was a pretty easy decision that we're gonna live together, and then we moved to like a little place a little bit away from campus, and I was living right above her.
Who was the better student then?
I don't know, honestly. I think we both were really pretty good. We actually took one math class together, and we both finished with an A plus. And we looked at each other, and we were pretty bored because it was easy. But I mean, we were in a different, in a very, very different degree. So she was in sports business, and I was in digital culture and film and media production. So it was a lot different. And but I mean, I would say we helped each other whenever we could, and yeah, I always had to do little projects, and I always showed it to her and like ask her what she thinks. So that was nice.
Nice. And in terms of like the golf course, what's your favorite memory playing for the Sun Devils?
I mean, for me, my favorite memory would be my one win, I would say. Also, because it was at home, it was at our home course, and I had my mom there, all the way from Germany, so that was really, really fun. I mean, I just really enjoyed the week. I played great. I mean, it was after COVID. It was in our senior year, and yeah, I just remember it being I mean, obviously, when you win, the week is fun, but just overall, because it was our last home tournament, and you're kind of sad to leave and stuff, and but that's why it was nice because my mom was there, and my mom was actually able to watch it and be there, and and so yeah, that was definitely a week to remember, I would say.
Good stuff. And Ali, same for you. What was your fondest memory playing for the Sun Devils?
I'd say when I want to, but honestly, I really enjoyed traveling with the team, and we went in some cool places. I I mean, we actually went 3 times to Hawaii, so it was pretty cool. Actually, four maybe, yeah. So it was very cool, but the week I won was very cool because I won in Napa where they played the PGA Tour Championship, and my uncle was there because he lives close to San Francisco, so it was pretty cool, and he came and he watched me play the first round and the second round, and then yet to leave, but I won the third round, so it was very special, and that place it feels very special, so that week probably is the one, and it was actually the week after she won, so that was cool because we won back to back. But yeah, that's one, yeah.
You have to do everything together. Let's see if that happens on the LET.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. No, but yeah, that was fun. That was like back to back. I mean, we both didn't expect it because it was our senior year and we like haven't won an individual title before, both of us. And then it was like back to back. So we were like, oh, like we were so amazed and excited and like also a little bit of like relief, I would say, that we finally managed it after COVID, especially, and which was obviously a hard time for us too, and then this was definitely for both of us a huge relief, and yeah, also a little bit of a sign that we're ready for like the next step to move on to professional golf, and so it was a little bit of like a confidence booster, I would say.
And then obviously you finish your senior year, you finished college, you play at the European World Amateur Team Championships across the summer, and then you turn pro. What's that decision like? Ali, we'll start with you to turn pro. I guess you thought you were ready for it, as you said you'd won a couple of months before, but what is it like to make that decision?
I feel like once you get to senior year, it's kind of like, okay, now I have to know if I actually want to turn pro or do something else. And most of the times, people in college are like, okay, I'm just gonna go and play golf. But for me, it was a little different because the year before, I didn't really feel good on the golf course and it wasn't that fun anymore. So I was like, honestly, I don't know, we'll see. But when I won and then got back home, played the my first LET event, that was the Italian Open, and I finished second, losing in a playoff, and then got a very, very good summer playing. Um, I was like, okay, I want to turn pro, and then I had a opportunity to play the Justin Rose event on the LET axis, and I played a last amateur event for my own golf club, because they're hosting Ryder Cup. So they asked me to be like, okay, just play with us one last time. And so after that week, I was like, hey, now I'm ready to turn pro. And I feel like it was the right decision for sure. So yeah.
And you just mentioned then the Ladies Italian Open, which obviously, as you said, you came so close to winning, being in that playoff. What was that tournament like? Obviously, being just outside of Milan, and then, you know, doing so well that week while still an amateur, and as you say, getting so incredibly close.
So it's funny because when I won my first Italian championship, it was in that golf course. So for me, it was just a special week, and I was coming back from college, and I was gonna see my family right after, and it was just gonna be like a happy week. I had my boyfriend on the bag, so it's just like, okay, let's go there and enjoy the week, you know. And then I knew the golf course was gonna fit me for sure, and I was playing pretty good. So I just tried to have fun, and it actually went very well. And it was a bit surprising, but on the other side was very helpful for me to go forward and like to be positive on what I was gonna do. So that was a very special week for sure.
Absolutely. And Alex, coming back to you, obviously turning pro in the summer. You also played on the LET last year. But yeah, talk me through turning pro, and then obviously you got top 10 in Switzerland on the LET later on in the season.
Yeah, like I mentioned, I would say like the last year of college was a little bit of a confidence boost. But I also had, I mean, because of obviously COVID and stuff, we didn't play, and before that, I also weren't sure if like I'm good enough or not. So, but then actually COVID helped me, so just to become better and like play a couple of tournaments that were possible to play and just have fun, like, and so that's when I like also started realizing, okay, I think I might be ready. And because we were still, I mean, I was still thinking about if like the fifth year in college could be an option. It probably would have not been at ASU, but it could have been somewhere else, and I was thinking about it the whole time. But then after, I would say, like after I won and like after the senior year, I was like, no, I think we're ready, and just like, yeah, try to stay confident, I would say. And then, yeah, I got the two opportunities to play on the LET, and I was super excited about those. Like I couldn't wait, and I played in the Netherlands the first time as an amateur, and I played really well that week, and also actually came really close to like the top, and but then lost it a little bit in the end, which is okay because I was very nervous, obviously being an amateur and just like, getting so close. But then, yeah, I would say I had another opportunity to play in Switzerland, and then I decided, okay, am I gonna turn pro for that event, or am I gonna stay amateur? But then I realized it's because the tournament was in September. So then I realized, it actually doesn't make too much sense if I stay amateur still, and why don't I take the opportunity to already turn pro and like see how it is. So yeah, I actually turned pro on like that Monday, I would say, or like on the day of the tournament. So, and I played really well. Also, I think I was even in the lead also on like last day on hole number 12, which I didn't know because I didn't want to look at the leaderboard at all. But yeah, it was just super exciting, and I like also realized a little bit, okay, I would say I'm on the right track. Maybe not 100% ready yet, just to get used to everything, but I would say realized I was on the right track. But that was definitely also a special week for me, just because I knew, okay, I can like, I can play good in those tournaments, I can compete, and just to take that with me a little bit was really, really nice. But I also had a fun week with my mom. My mom caddied for me, and we drove down with our car, and saw a couple cool places. So I think, yeah, that was really nice.
Nice. Now moving on to Q School, you obviously both end up going together and both being successful. Ali, maybe you first. What was that whole like process like to think, okay, I'm going to go to Q School, and then being in La Manga for the week? Was there much pressure, or how was the whole process for you?
Um, so I've actually played during summer first stage of Q School for LPGA. And it was so weird because I was like, what am I actually doing here? It's like I don't know if I'm ready, but I won the first stage and I was like, okay, that's fine. But going through the stages in La Manga was a little bit different because we were in the same place for 15 days. So it was very long, a long process. But I had my boyfriend with me that was caddying for me, so that made it a little bit easier. We were going out for dinners, we were doing some stuff that was just gonna bring me out of the golf word that I needed. Because for me, it's like when I'm done with golf or a round of golf, I need to be like, okay, now I'm off. I'm gonna turn it on in the morning and think about something else. That was for sure helpful, but I remember that it felt crazy long. Like we were seeing each other every single day, and we were like, "What day's today?" It was like, yeah, a long process, but I mean, we were waiting for that moment, so it was actually not a lot of pressure, but it was like, okay, we are here to do what we are doing the best right now, so we can do this together, and it was actually very fun until last day that I lost a ball on my ninth hole on a palm tree, and that cost me like 2 shots, and it was just one outside of the cut line for the full card. And I had to make a birdie on my last hole on 18 because I had a lot of birdies chances on like 14 through 18, but I couldn't make one. And then 18, they moved the tees up, so it was like, okay, we can go for the green today. Was not the best ideal shot to leave myself to get a full LET card, but I made it, so that made it even more special. My coach was with me that day, so he was like screaming around. He was like, called my parents, like, oh, we're good. After 20 days, we're good. No, but it was fun. It was a lot, but I feel like it's an experience that you have to be able to process everything and be like, okay, now I'm ready to play pro golf. So yeah, that was my experience.
Oh, that sounds like stress. Did you know you had to make a birdie on the last, or were you checking the scoreboards? Like, how did that come about? Because I would be trying to do everything I could to like not know. But I guess if you need a birdie, you need a birdie. Like,
So we had a lot of leaderboards on the last 5 holes. I three putted twice, two on the back nine. I was struggling a little bit with my putting because the greens were not too good. That made it even worse because I knew I had to make birdie, and I had like 4 putts under 3.5 meters that I had to drop at least one. And my boyfriend with me was like, "Don't worry, you just hit it close. We go there. If you make it, that's good. If not, we go to the next one and you can do it again." So we tried until the last hole, and I knew I had to make a birdie. That's why on my second shot on 18, I had 180 meters to the pin because I didn't hit a good driver. And I had 2 palm trees on the way, but I told him, like, if I'm gonna lose a shot or just make a par, I'm still gonna get same category. I just need the birdie. And honestly, I feel like hitting a hybrid in between these palm trees. And he's like, okay, just go for it. So I took the hybrid hat and hit it, and it just landed 2 meters left of the pin. I was like, okay, let's go there, 2 putts, and I'm good. But it was stressful. Honestly, I was shaking on the green on the last hole. So yeah.
God, I can't imagine. But Alex, a slightly different experience for you then at Q School, judging by that. I mean, you end up going there and winning it. Talk to me about that experience.
Um, I actually also did LPGA Q school, and I was in the I didn't have to go to the first stage, but I went to second stage, and I had a tough time. I really just wasn't there mentally. I mean, everything about that week just was a struggle. So after that week, I was like, okay, now I have just one more chance at the LETQ school. And I was definitely nervous going in, just into those 2 weeks. And like also a little bit of stressing out because it was just a couple weeks after LPGAQ school. So, I mean, you know what is going to change after 2 weeks? Not much, probably. So, but anyways, I just tried to like stay hopeful and yeah, we had this pre-qualifier and also the whole 2 weeks or however long it just felt like never ending. um but yeah, I think the pre-qualifier actually really helped me because I tried to like just take it as an opportunity to get to know the course and just yeah, get a little bit more confident about my game again, which really helped me. I mean, I had a tough second day, but I tried to come back and just take it day by day, and then thankfully made it through the pre-qualifier, and then the final stage started, and yeah, I mean, I was starting off okay, yeah, I was starting off decent, I would say, and then on I think the fourth day, I shot 6 under, and I was like, "Whew, okay, here we go," and so yeah, I was like a little bit okay, what's gonna happen, and I noticed I was getting like close to the lead and stuff, and then yeah, on the last day it was really stressful still. I mean, I knew that I'm probably gonna make it, but like on the other side you're also thinking like, okay, I still have something to lose. And I mean, then you're also thinking about, oh, okay, I kind of want to win this, and you just have so many thoughts in your head, and that you actually try to push away and just try to have fun and play, but oftentimes in like those stressful moments it's obviously not that easy. But yeah, the first 9 were really stressful still. I mean, I just experienced it being so stressful, and we had already that was our ninth round on that course, so I was honestly also counting down the holes a little bit, that it's the last one, hopefully coming soon. But yeah, on the second 9 I actually managed to like um get a couple shots back, and I made a huge putt on 17. I think like over 2 hills and huge break and for birdie, and I was like, oh, okay. And then I realized that me and Polly were in the lead both, and then yeah, we got to 18, and I obviously like I was definitely still nervous. I mean, I knew that I had my card, but I was still nervous, and yeah, and then just made par, which was okay. But I looked at my mom and I was like, "Can you believe it's the last hole now?" So, but yeah, when I finished 18, I was like, "Wow, I can't believe we are finally done. We have like our card." I looked at Ali. I was like, I didn't know what to say because I mean, I was definitely in disbelief. I was glad it was over for sure, but I was definitely in disbelief that we finally made it. We both have our full card, and we can look forward to the next season. So that was exciting.
Yeah, I bet. It sounds like it helped having each other there then.
Yeah, for sure.
Nice. And what was it like afterwards? Did you go out to celebrate or talk to me about that?
I mean, because it was just me and my mom, we basically just went to the apartment. We didn't even like for the last 5 days or so in La Manga, we didn't even go out for dinner anymore. We just made food at home. I was really looking forward to just ending the 2 weeks because it was definitely long. It was a lot on the body too, and I was so exhausted. So I mean, we didn't really get to celebrate. I mean, we kind of did, but just, by sitting around and trying to recover. But yeah, but once I was back at home, I was yeah, able to just get the pressure off a little bit, like finally start believing that it's true, and just, preparing and also obviously celebrating a little bit, and yeah, so that was fun.
And in terms of if if you had any advice for people going to Q school this year, is there anything that you would have done differently or that you take into the 2 weeks, knowing now kind of how mentally draining it was and everything. But obviously that you came out with your cards. Ali, you go first, and then we'll come to Alex.
I think I would just say that you have to be prepared physically for sure. Because also, if La Manga is not like a very hilly course, it's still very tough physically because you're using so much energy to keep your mind positive and walking slowly and enjoying it. And like, it's 2 weeks, you still have to play in between these 2 weeks. So it's a lot of like physical energy. But on the other side, I think I actually feel like I was prepared for it. I brought my coach with me, so that was very helpful for me because I needed like a person that was actually helping me on the range and telling me that I was on the right way and I was swinging it well and like, I was ready for it. So I feel like you just need to bring a person or whatever you need to be positive in these 2 weeks and feel confident, and it's just for yourself. So like you just need to be there with your mind and just focus whole 2 weeks and be ready for it because it's gonna be over sooner or later, but be like, okay, that's probably what I want to do in life. So it's just 2 weeks and just bring whatever you need and be happy and everything is gonna go well. At least that's how it worked for me. So yeah.
And Alex, same question to you. What would you say to anyone kind of going this year? And like, for example, obviously you had your mum on the bag. Did that help that you had her there for the whole 2 weeks?
Yeah, I would definitely say have like a good support system. Also, if you're able to bring somebody, it's really helpful, I would say. Just somebody that like is able to calm you down and just tell you once in a while that everything is gonna be all right and you're gonna be fine. And yeah, just somebody that you can trust. And I think that was really helpful for me because your thoughts are gonna be all over, I mean, and it's obviously hard to like sometimes also to stay positive all the time. I mean, but I would say also on the course, what was really helpful for me, especially in the second week, was to really stay patient. I mean, just stay patient. A couple putts will drop, even if they might not drop in the beginning, but they will drop eventually. I mean, the hole's gonna be in the way at some point. So, yeah, just stay really patient and also try to enjoy it. I mean, for me especially, I know if I'm having fun, I'm on a good track and for playing good. So, but yeah, I think for Q school, just staying patient is probably the most important thing because it's such a long 2 weeks. I mean, I know that some people don't have to play or might not have to play the first week, but I mean, other than that, but really, really stay patient and just try to stay relaxed and it's gonna come around and yeah, putts will drop.
I wish it was that easy. Right, we
Yeah.
got some fan questions for you both. So Alex, we'll start with you. Which course are you most looking forward to playing this year, or which event are you most looking forward to playing this year?
I mean, I would say the one in Berlin, just because it's at home. It's I can sleep at home. I can, there's gonna be people following me that I know since a lot of years. So I think that's gonna be a special week for me. But let me think if there's a different one too. Oh, I think I'm also really looking forward to Scandinavian mixed. I think because I followed because I mean we were obviously teammates of Lynn and that's why like we followed her in the Scandinavian mixed and it looked so cool and then her winning was like even more crazy. So but yeah, I think that will be a really just a fun event. And yeah, but I'm also looking forward to all the Rumco tournaments and the team series because I thought Singapore was really cool. It was definitely a lot different to the normal tournaments, but I just thought it was a really just to play in your like little team. It was fun, and we had a really great 2 days, and yeah, so I'm looking forward to all those tournaments.
Sounds good. And Ali, what about you?
Same thing for me, the Aramco team series for sure. I'm excited to play the first one in Florida finally, so it's gonna be fun. But the Scandinavian mixed is the second one, because with the DP World Tour is gonna be different week for sure. Yeah.
Right, next question for both of you again. What's the best thing about living in the US? Alex, maybe you go first.
Well, that's a good question. I would say honestly, the parking. You know, if you live yeah,
What?
if you live, I mean, it's one of the best things. Probably not the best, but if you live in Berlin, parking is terrible. You know, but if you drive around here, you can find a parking spot everywhere. It's the best. But no, other than that, I would say honestly, the golf courses are really cool. And also, I would say the condition of the golf courses are always, I mean, you have a lot of like a big chance that you find a golf course with in really, really good conditions. And I mean, especially in Arizona, I would say that I played in a course the other day and it was pure. And it was, I mean, the greens were awesome. I mean, obviously they have different weather here too, but just just the fun layout, and people are like crazy about golf. So you meet a person, you tell them that you play golf and they're like, me too, you know. And it's with everybody, and I think that's just really fun having like this whole golf culture here and just so many people playing golf. I think that's really awesome, besides the parking.
I was gonna say you saved yourself there in the end, like parking. What? And I mean, that must have been a big thing at ASU, right? Like the golf community and the golf culture, because you had some like really big names go and be in your position and play for college. Is that something that seeped through the university?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we got to meet John Rahm a couple times, and that was actually also one of the, I mean, for me at least, one of the um, best experiences when he came to our facility and we all sat down with him, and he just like kind of like, yeah, I mean, answered all the questions we had. Like he literally, I think we sat there for like at least an hour, and we could ask him everything and he would like really answer it, go in depth with it, and give us also a little bit of like a view on pro golf and also on the mental side, and all the tournaments and all the stuff. So I mean, that was really great just to like get in touch a little bit with the like people on tour, and also especially with, you know, like all the girls that play on the LPGA, like Carlotta Siganda, Anna Nordquist. They come regularly, and you can always go up to them, talk to them, ask questions if you have anything. So we've actually gotten pretty close with them, and it's great to have the opportunity to just be able, you know, to talk to them and ask questions, especially when you're a rookie and, you know, you don't know much yet. So it's great to have that.
And Ali, over to you. That's a good answer. Now I won't mock you for saying parking. But Ali, well, for you, what was the best thing about living out in the States?
I think the best thing is that everything is open at any time. And compared to Italy, is like, what? I can go to the gym at 6 a.m. in the morning, 5 a.m., or like I can go buy medicine at like midnight. You know, it's like crazy. Like it's a different world. Whatever you need, it's always there for you. So that's a lot different than home for sure. But as she said, the golf world is a different level. I would say the sport world is a different level. Like compared to Europe, honestly, especially talking about golf, it's crazy. Like you play golf, you're like a superstar, you know, especially if you play college golf. It's like everyone is very obsessed with that. Like if you just say I'm gonna play tournament next week there, they're just gonna show up and be like, oh, of course, we're just gonna follow you. Like we're here to cheer for you, you know. And here, if you say I'm play golf, they're all like, oh, fun. That's it, you know. So it's very different. Yeah, and playing for ASU was so cool, especially because of the new facilities and stuff. So I think we got lucky. We had probably the best 4 years for the golf facilities, practice, travel, and I don't know, everything was perfect. I think to get you ready to play pro golf. So yeah.
Nice one. And Ali, and sticking with you. somebody asked, what was it like to play in the Ping Junior Solheim Cup? What was that experience like, and how's that made you a better golfer?
That was for sure one of the best experiences ever. I played, I remember, with other two Italian girls. One is Alessia Nobilio. She was probably ranked second that year in the World Amateur. And another girl that she's not playing anymore right now. But we had a full Swedish team, and it was Lynn, Maya, Frida, Beatrice. They're all turning pro now and killing it. So it was fun. Emma Spitz was there too. Esther, don't remember who else, but yeah. Oh, Julia Engström too. So like everyone was very good. It was fun. We had a chance to walk inside the ropes when the Solheim Cup was on, so it was very cool. We shared hotel rooms, like we shared like actually we were at the final ceremony for the tournament and the party they had in the evening. So it was like very cool. Like I was dancing with Michelle Wee, Daniel Kang. So it was like, wow. No, but it was cool. It's such a cool week. I feel like, I don't know, it makes you feel like you actually want to get there and play with them. Especially because it was in the US. So as I said, golf is huge in the US and there were so many people. It looked like honestly Ryder Cup. So it was very cool. Yeah.
Nice. And Alex, similar question to you, I guess. You played obviously in the 2014 Junior Ryder Cup. How was that experience for you?
I mean, it was amazing. It was an amazing week. I was still a baby. I was super young, so everything was like overwhelming to me, and for us it was actually in Europe. So and but still, I mean, it was super exciting, and I still remember we got to play 9 holes on Glen Eagles, and I mean, there were already so many people watching us and like, clapping for us and stuff. And it was, I mean, for a little 14-year-old, that was a lot. So, and but I still remember when we were warming up for those 9 holes. I like went to the like I hit my balls and then I went to the putting green and all of a sudden like Baba Watson was standing next to me, putting next to me, and I was like, oh, hello. And then I came back to the range and all of a sudden Martin Keimer was there. So and oh, that was actually the first time I met him, but yeah. No, he was like talking to me and he was saying like, crazy, you're just 14 years old, and he just thought it was amazing. And we met so many great people that week, and then when we got to watch the actual Ryder Cup, it was kind of funny. We were walking around and people like started recognizing us and they were like, oh, didn't you play the junior Ryder Cup, and didn't you play the 9 holes here the other day? And it was just amazing to me to see. And yeah, so that was definitely a special week.
Nice one. And now a big question for both of you. Alex, we'll start with you. What's your goals for the season?
I would definitely win one tournament. Yeah, that's definitely one goal. Um, Now, after coming so close in Switzerland, it's an exciting feeling, and you kind of like want to have that again. And but on the other side, I also really want to try to stay patient. And I mean, we're just in our first year or so, and it's also a long season. So I mean, you kind of like, I know, like sometimes you want it to happen now and fast and stuff, and but you also can't force it. So yeah, that's why I want to try to stay patient and just, take it week by week, and but also try to use my chances, and hopefully I will come close again, and hopefully maybe manage I will maybe manage to win one tournament, so we'll see. Yeah, but that's definitely one of the goals.
And Ali, same question to you. I know we spoke about this before, but what's your goals for 2023?
For sure, as she said, win a tournament will be the best for this year, but I'm also looking forward for like a top 10 at the end of the LET ranking for this year, so the race to Costa del Sol. That would be a good goal for me this year for sure. But on the other side, as she said, it's still our first year of so many, so just need to keep it real and be like, okay, I'm just gonna go out there and have fun and like keep making cuts and keep enjoying it and traveling around. So it's kind of like both. You really want to go there and win it, but on the other side, you're also like, okay, I still want to enjoy it and like living my life, you know? So yeah, that's it.
Nice. And is there a little competition between the pair of you to see who can finish highest?
Well, I don't know.
I would say, I mean, not really. I mean, I'm like, no, I'm like, I mean, if she wins, if she has a great week, I'm super happy for her. I mean, and it's just, I think I'm more excited about like falling, like to see like how we play or like where we end up and like how it's going for us. I mean, I know that I can like if I have a bad round or if I am struggling with something, like I know I can always go up to her and ask her like for help or and I mean she can always do the same for me too. So but I would say no, because yeah, I mean, I mean, if you've spent so much time together, I mean, you want the other person to do great too, because I mean, you kind of like know what this person has gone through, what their like struggle is or was, and and you like just um want to like succeed together and have a fun time together. So
Nicely put.
yeah.
Well, that's all of our fan questions then. Nicola, I don't know if you had anything to ask the pair of them yourself.
I think the only other thing is obviously with you having very similar names, the nicknames. Tell us the nickname story. Why Alex, you're Lexi, and Ali, you're Ali. Like, how does that come about? And obviously, being in the team, who decides who got first dibs on which name?
So when I was back in Germany before college, everybody called me Alex. But then there was a couple, I don't know who came up with that name, but a couple people called me Lexi too. So I mean, I don't mind either or. But then once we got to college, we were like, okay, what should we do? I mean, I decided because in my first week I met like 8 Alexes, and we had another guy in our team, like in our men's team, who was called Alex. So I was like, I mean, there's gonna be whole confusion. So I said, okay, you guys call me Lexi. So that's why I started going by Lexi. So now everybody in the States knows me as Lexi. And I think when somebody from Germany says Alex, everybody's like, what? So now it's actually kind of funny. We have a new German girl, Paula Schulz-Hansen, and she's in the team now. And now that everybody says, like, talks about me, everybody says Lexi. And she's like, who's Lexi? So it's, yeah, it's definitely a confusion. But I would say another confusion with our names was because Ali always went by Ali, I think. So also back at home. But another confusion for us
Yeah.
was that our initials are the same. So we're both AF, yeah. And so our our assistant coach, she always said like, "Oh, write your initial down here," and we were like, "We can't write it down. It's the same." So it was always a struggle. But now we actually, when we played together in Morocco for 2 days, we had a pretty good laugh with the starter because he was completely confused, and I think he said Alexandra both times or Alessandra the both times, and when he called our names, and he was super confused. So, and then he like also messed up the last names, and it was just a mess. Yeah.
Well, that's great. Ali, anything to add to that? Have you always been Ali, as Alex said?
No, I've always been Ali. Actually, it's Ali, but in the US, nobody can say Ali. They just say Ali. So now I'm Holly for the US people and Holly for the European ones. But yeah, no, always been Holly. And it was funny because one time, not even on purpose, we were together, probably second year of college. We ordered some donuts on Uber Eats, and the order was under Alessandra, but we got it home and it was written Alice with a S, and then the rest of the name was with Sandra with a X. So it was like a perfect mix of our names. But yeah, no, it was just very confusing for everybody. But that's why now we're Holly and Lexi.
So that means we've been butchering your name for this whole hour. Terrible. I'll get it right for the next event. Don't worry. Right. That is all we have time for. I mean, we could chat all evening. This has been great. I can see how you two both got on so well at college now. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing how you both get on this season and out on the road.
Yes, thank you so much for having us.
Oh, no, anytime. We'll have to get you on again because I feel like we haven't even touched the surface yet with some of the stories, right?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, there's a couple of fun stories. So
We'll save them for the next one. We'll save them for the next one.
yeah, sounds good.
Right, great stuff. Now, we hope you enjoyed this episode of the LET Golf Podcast. If you did, guys, please leave us a review on Spotify, Apple, or whichever platform you're streaming from. And remember to follow us on socials at LET Golf. And of course, remember to follow these two on socials as well. We'll drop their tags in the description. Thanks for tuning in, guys, and we'll see you next week.
It's a competition clinching shot. Whoa! How about that?
The LET Golf Podcast, the official podcast